Let me ask you something real. What if everything you've learned about attracting women was wrong? Because here's the truth no one told you. Women are not drawn to logic. They're not sitting around making lists of pros and cons about you. Attraction for them is emotional, instinctual, unpredictable. And if you're still trying to impress her with the usual tricks, money, looks, clever lines, you're already losing. This isn't about being a nice guy or a bad guy. It's about being a man who understands the hidden game, the one that plays out beneath the surface, where emotions rule and logic fades. In this video, I'm going to reveal 15 hidden emotional weaknesses that almost every woman has, but rarely talks about. And no, this isn't about manipulation. It's about awareness. It's about building connections that are strong, grounded, and real. If you're tired of chasing, pleasing, or constantly doubting your worth, stick around, because once you understand what I'm about to share, you'll stop playing by the old rules and start attracting women in a way that feels effortless and honest. So if you're ready to see behind the curtain, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's dive in. Let me tell you something that most men never realize until it's too late. Stability is seductive. In a world where everyone's swiping, ghosting, flaking, and chasing dopamine hits, a man who's consistent is rare. And rare things, they stand out. Most guys show up hot, then vanish. They make promises, then disappear. But a steady man, he's different. He does what he says. He doesn't chase chaos. He creates calm. And women notice that more than they'll ever admit. Think about it. If you say you'll call, do you call? If you make a plan, do you follow through? That might seem basic, but in today's dating world, basic has become extraordinary. Women aren't just looking for excitement. They're looking for safety, for something real in a sea of surface-level noise. And when you bring consistency in your words, your actions, your energy, you become the lighthouse in her storm. So here's the question. Are you the man she can count on, or just another flash of lightning that disappears after the thrill? Because trust me, inconsistency is loud, but reliability is unforgettable. 2. Let's clear something up. Confidence isn't about being the loudest guy in the room. It's not about flexing your car, your bank account, or your six-pack. Real confidence? It's quiet, steady. It comes from knowing who you are, without needing anyone's approval. Most men think confidence is about proving something. But when you're truly grounded, there's nothing to prove. You're not fishing for compliments. You're not scared of silence. And you definitely don't crumble when someone rejects you. Women are drawn to that kind of energy because here's what they're really feeling deep down. Insecurity, doubt, pressure. They're constantly wondering if they look good enough, say the right thing, if they're being judged. So when you walk in, anchored and at peace with yourself, you instantly become different, safe, magnetic. So how do you build this kind of confidence? Simple. Keep promises to yourself. Set goals, even small ones, and follow through. Accept your flaws. Own your scars. Don't hide them. Embrace them. Because confidence isn't perfection, it's presence. And when you're fully present, calm, centered, unshaken, you don't chase validation. It starts chasing you. 3, let's be honest. Ambition gets overlooked. But make no mistake, women feel it. It's not about driving a Lamborghini or working 80 hours a week. It's about movement, direction, purpose. In a world full of men who've settled for comfort, for average, for less than they're capable of, an ambitious man becomes rare. And rare, again, is attractive. Here's why. When a woman sees a man with clear goals, even small ones, she sees a man who won't get stuck, a man who's going somewhere. And deep down, she wants to be part of that journey. Ask yourself, are you living forward or just existing? Ambition isn't loud. It's not bragging. It's you waking up at 6 a.m. to hit the gym. It's you learning something new instead of scrolling. It's you choosing long-term progress over short-term comfort. Start small, set short-term goals, commit to them, and then stretch further. Growth isn't about leaps. It's about consistent steps out of your comfort zone. Because when she sees you investing in your own future, she starts imagining herself in it too. 4. Let's get this straight. Women don't fall for bad boys because they're toxic. They fall for them because of how they carry themselves. A bad boy doesn't chase. He doesn't explain himself. And most importantly, he's not afraid to walk away. That's not cruelty. That's emotional control. And in a world full of over-explaining, over-texting, always available nice guys, emotional control is power. Nice guys try too hard to be liked. They're always there, always saying yes. Sounds kind and noble, but to her, it's predictable, safe, and unfortunately, boring. Meanwhile, the bad boy remains a question, a puzzle. He keeps a little mystery. He doesn't overshare. He knows when to be present and when to disappear just enough to let her imagination take over. Here's the truth. You don't need to become someone cold or rude, but you do need to stop being available 24/7. Let her wonder where you are. Let her work a little for your presence. Because the men who know how to hold their own energy, who don't pour it out carelessly, they don't just attract women, they haunt them. Here's a hard truth most men don't want to hear. The more easily you give your attention, the less it's worth. We live in a world where women get constant validation. DMs, likes, fire emojis, heart reactions. Every time she opens her phone, a dozen guys are lined up to make her feel special. So what happens when you join that crowd? You become background noise. Expected, predictable, disposable. But when you don't react right away, when you don't comment on every post, like every selfie, or reply within seconds, suddenly you're different. You become a question mark in a world full of yes men. Women don't admit it, but they enjoy the chase too. They're not drawn to what's handed to them. They're drawn to what they have to reach for. So here's the shift. Stop giving your attention away for free. Text less. React less. Let her wonder why you're not chasing like the rest. Because when your attention becomes rare, it becomes valuable. And when it's valuable, she'll fight to earn it. 6, you ever notice something strange? A guy who couldn't get a date suddenly starts seeing someone, and out of nowhere, other women start noticing him. They laugh more at his jokes. They text back faster. They lean in just a little closer. That's not a coincidence. That's pre-selection, one of the most powerful psychological triggers in attraction. See, when a woman sees that other women already find you valuable, she subconsciously starts thinking, what do they see that I might be missing? It's the same reason we want the table that's already reserved, the shoes that are sold out, or the bottle everyone else is ordering. Scarcity, proof of value, and yes, competition. This doesn't mean you need a harem or fake girlfriends. It means being comfortable around women, having female friends who respect you, letting the world see that you're already accepted in the feminine space. Because when she sees that women are already around you, not chasing, just choosing to be near, she won't question if you're high value. She'll feel it. And from that point on, you're not the one pursuing. You're the one being evaluated. 7, let's talk about masculinity. Not the kind that screams for attention, but the kind that moves silently and stands tall. Because real masculinity isn't about aggression. It's not about dominating a room or controlling people around you. It's about one thing: control over yourself. Women aren't attracted to force. They're attracted to stability, mental, emotional, and physical. They notice the man who doesn't flinch when things go wrong, the one who doesn't need to raise his voice to command respect, the one who leads not with ego, but with purpose. Ask yourself, can you stay calm when someone disrespects you? Can you make decisions without second guessing? Do you take full responsibility for your actions? That's the masculinity she's looking for. Not the guy who flexes in the mirror, but the one who can walk through a storm and not let the storm get inside him. Start here. Own your choices. Stop blaming. Stop waiting. Build habits that sharpen you. When conflict comes, face it with quiet strength, not panic. Because a truly masculine man doesn't need to prove anything. He just is. And that presence, it speaks louder than any words ever could. 8. Here's a truth most guys overlook. You don't need to be a CEO to be a leader. You just need to lead your own life. Because women are deeply drawn to leadership. Not the title, not the status, but the energy. The presence of a man who knows where he's going and doesn't hesitate when it's time to move. Let's break this down. You ask her out. Do you say whatever you want, or do you already have a plan? You start a conversation. Are you driving it, or waiting for her to carry the weight? You face a tough decision. Do you freeze, or do you choose and stand by it? Leadership is about confidence in motion. It's about direction. It's about making her feel safe, not because you're controlling, but because you're clear. Most men wait for permission. Leaders don't ask if it's okay. They take initiative, and they stay calm under pressure. So next time you show up, don't just bring your looks or charm, bring clarity. Lead with intention, be decisive. Let her feel that if life gets messy, you won't fall apart. Because at the end of the day, she doesn't want a passenger. She wants a man who can take the wheel and still make her feel safe in the ride. 9, here's where most men lose the moment. She opens up, says something's bothering her. You jump straight into fix-it mode. Why don't you just do this? Here's the solution. Let me handle it. And just like that, you've missed the point. Emotional intelligence isn't about having the answers. It's about knowing when to shut up, when to lean in, and when to just be still. Most women don't want a hero. They want a man who can hold space for their emotions without being shaken by them. Someone who doesn't flinch when she cries. Someone who doesn't rush her through her feelings just to make things feel comfortable again. Next time she vents, don't interrupt. Don't try to reframe it. Don't say, it's not that bad. Just listen. Be present. Be grounded. Let her feel what she's feeling and show her that you can handle it, because that's what emotional strength looks like. And trust me, when a woman sees that you're not just physically strong, but emotionally composed, that's when she starts to see you differently. Not just as a man, but as a man she can actually trust. 10. There's something magnetic about a man who's lit up from the inside, not because of a woman, but because of a purpose. That's what passion is, and women feel it before you even say a word. You could have average looks, a modest income, and 0 pickup lines. But if you're a man who wakes up with fire in your chest, building something, creating something, chasing something bigger than yourself, you instantly stand apart. See, passion isn't about being busy. It's about being alive. Whether it's fitness, music, business, writing, whatever it is, when you fully commit to it, that energy radiates, and she feels it. Because here's the truth. A man who has a mission doesn't chase women. He attracts them effortlessly, not because he's trying, but because he's becoming. So ask yourself, what would you do every day even if no one clapped for you? Find that, pursue it, let it shape you, because when your life has depth, movement, and meaning, she won't want to be the center of your world. She'll want to stand beside you as you build it. 11. Most men don't lose the girl because they said the wrong thing. They lose her because they couldn't wait. See, emotional patience is power because women don't open up on command. They feel things deeply, they retreat, they test, they protect themselves. Especially in a world where most men rush, react, or disappear when they don't get instant gratification. But the man who waits, not passively, but calmly, quietly, he becomes the exception. She doesn't need you to fix her mood or demand attention when she pulls back. She needs to feel that your energy doesn't rise and fall with hers, that you're steady, especially when she's not. Can you sit in the silence without spiraling? Can you give her space without filling it with insecurity? Because if you get frustrated when she needs time, if you chase harder when she goes quiet, you're not leading, you're reacting. Here's the shift. Wait without needing. Give without expecting. Be present without pressure. Because when she feels emotionally safe around you, she'll let you into parts of her that no one else gets to see. And that is where real connection begins. 12. You don't always need the perfect response. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. Valuable silence. It's a rare language. And the men who master it, they instantly feel more powerful, more mysterious, more magnetic. Because here's something most guys don't realize. Women are incredibly sensitive to energy gaps. When you pause, they don't just hear silence, they feel it. And that space, that unknown, it makes them lean in. See, most men over-explain. They text back too fast. They feel the urge to clarify everything. But a man who doesn't rush to respond, who doesn't explain every emotion, who lets his energy breathe instead of forcing it, he becomes captivating. Try this. Don't reply to every message right away. Don't fill every silence with noise. Let her wonder. Let her feel the weight of your presence, even in your absence. Because the man who can sit in silence without losing his center, he doesn't just get attention, he holds it. 13. Let me say something that might sound strange at first. You can care deeply and still not cling. That's the essence of powerful detachment. And it's one of the most attractive traits a man can develop. See, women don't fall for the guy who's always checking in, always available, always reacting. They're drawn to the man who can feel something for them without losing himself in the process. When you're too attached to outcomes, if she texts back, if she flirts, if she compliments, you start giving off desperation. And desperation, it kills attraction fast. But the man who stays calm when she pulls back, the man who doesn't spiral when she's too busy to respond, the man who keeps his rhythm no matter what, he becomes magnetic. Here's the key. Don't chase her emotional state. Stay grounded in your own. Let her see that you're centered, with or without her. Because when she realizes you're not waiting on her to feel whole, when she feels that you're not chasing her approval, that's when she starts chasing your presence. 14. Let me tell you something that doesn't get said enough. Self-discipline is deeply attractive. In a world that's constantly pulling you into distractions, scrolls, cravings, shortcuts, very few men have control over their own impulses. And when you're one of the rare ones who does, you stand out without even trying. Because discipline isn't just about waking up early or hitting the gym, it's about energy. The energy of a man who doesn't chase every urge, who doesn't react to every trigger, who knows when to speak and when silence has more power. Women can feel that restraint. They feel when you're not driven by lust, ego, or approval seeking. They feel when your calm comes from mastery, not from lack of options. So here's the practice. Discipline your body, train it to move with strength. Discipline your emotions. Don't let anger or fear dictate your actions. Discipline your thoughts. Don't let chaos write your story. Because the man who leads himself first doesn't need to dominate others. He simply becomes someone worth following. And she'll notice, not just with her eyes, but with her instincts. 15. Here's the truth that most men never hear. Your deepest attraction doesn't come from chasing women. It comes from chasing purpose. When a man wakes up every day with a mission bigger than himself, something that challenges him, sharpens him, pulls him forward, he becomes different, not just to women, but to the world. Women can feel it. They can feel when a man has direction, when his life isn't built around winning attention, but around building something real, something that would still matter even if nobody was watching. Let me ask you this. What are you waking up for? What drives you when no one's applauding? Because if your only motivation is pleasure, comfort, validation, temporary highs, you'll always be chasing. But when you live for something solid, something meaningful, you become the storm she wants to stand inside. Here's the shift. Don't make women your end goal. Make them witnesses to the path you're already walking. Let them choose to walk beside you because they feel your fire, not because you beg for their spark. Because the man with purpose doesn't just attract women, he attracts loyalty, respect, and a life that actually means something. Let's be clear. None of what I just shared is about manipulation. It's not about tricks or tactics to get women. It's about awareness, about finally understanding what most men never even question. Because here's the reality. Most guys are still playing by old rules. They seek approval, they overgive, over-explain, overcompensate. thinking that will earn them love, but it only drains their value. You're different now. You've seen behind the curtain. You understand that true attraction isn't about trying harder. It's about becoming more grounded, more intentional, more of yourself. And that shift, that awareness, it changes everything. So if this resonated with you, don't just keep it to yourself. Hit like, drop a comment. What part hit you the hardest? Subscribe for more deep, no BS insight on modern masculinity, emotional power, and real connection. And if you want to support this mission, join the channel, because we're not building a following. We're building a movement, a space for men who are done chasing and ready to lead.